be discussing the 2020 gubernatorial election and see whether the Democrats or the Republicans will have control over the states from the gubernatorial positions after the 2020 election. So all the states in light gray are ones that do not have a governor's race in this election cycle, and the one in dark gray do. So as of right now, there are 20 states that have Democrats as governors, and there are 19 that have Republicans that are already going to be solidified. So first, let's show you what the polls numbers pretty much are. So let's start off and with Delaware. You see Delaware here. You have John Carney up against his opposition by over 6 points in any of the polls going. And here it shows you that just what some predictions are. You have Cook Political Report and Politico are my two favorite. They're my two favorites when determining how safe or how likely something else is for a presidential, Senate election, gubernatorial election, whatever. Anything on politics. So here they're all saying that Delaware is a safe Democratic state, and I agree with them 100% on that. So here you have Delaware safe below. That's how it is in the presidential election. Joe Biden is going to carry Delaware very easily, as that is his home state. Next, you have in Indiana. Here, you have Eric Holcomb, and he is +9. Once again, this is also a very safe Republican state. Obama did win the state in 2008. However, it has since been very conservative. So Indiana is a red state in this election cycle for the gubernatorial position. Next, you have Missouri. Missouri is +9. I will tell you, I'm not going to be going off this chart. I'm going to be using this chart to guide sort of my predictions from around 4.5 months out from the election now, 4.5 to 5 months out. But I'm using this to show you what it looks like. So in Missouri, you have Mike Parsons. He is up +9 in the polls, and it's Missouri. These all say likely Republican, but it is Missouri. I don't see much of a contest here. I will also be counting this as a safe Republican state. So now you're tied 21-21 here with 8 states remaining. Next state you have, I'm going to actually save Montana last because I want to talk about that one. And I will also be saving Vermont for last here. So Montana and Vermont will be my last 2 states. So here I want to discuss New Hampshire. So New Hampshire, this is right here. This is all in the presidential polls. It's saying not necessarily the governor, but those are usually go hand in hand. So here, state of New Hampshire is in polling is +1 to Joe Biden, and you have Chris Sununu, who is the incumbent Republican. He is very, very popular. So in the state that is in the swing state, you will be having someone like this be much more popular and will probably be voted the opposite way of how the state actually votes, even though New Hampshire is likely to vote for Joe Biden. Sununu will actually take it won't be easy, but a fairly easy win to victory just because of how popular he is. You see here, he got almost 53% of the vote last election cycle when he was up for re-election, and now it's even higher. So here you see everything, the consensus saying that it's at least likely Republican, and I will be saying as well that it is, I won't say that it is a likely Republican, but I'll be saying more that it is a lean Republican here in New Hampshire. So not tilt, but lean Republican. So the next state you have is North Carolina, a state that, once again, like New Hampshire, I expect to vote differently than how it will be in the presidential race. You have Roy Cooper up for re-election, and here you have Trump is up +3 in the overall polls, but Roy Cooper is a very, very liked governor, just like how Chris Sununu is. And he there has he has done stuff that the North Carolina people want on their state level, but won't necessarily want those policies on the national level, if that makes much sense. So North Carolina, a lot here. Some are saying likely Democrat, but I believe more it's a tilt to lean. Um, I I think it's going to actually be more of a tilt just because of how Trump is a little more popular in North Carolina there. So if that does happen, you have 22 to 22. The next state here is North Dakota. Um, do I even need to discuss this one? You can clearly see that for yourself. North Dakota is an easy win for Doug Burgum. So that is very safe. Red. The next state here is Utah. Once again, I don't really need to discuss this. You have Gary Herbert, and he is retiring. So, he will not be going up for re-election. But this is also another safe Republican state. It's Utah, and it's not really going to be contested here. So, next state you have is I said I'm going to skip Vermont. So the next state you have is Washington. Washington's a state, and I'm just going to skip right down to West Virginia as well. Washington's a state that is very likely Democrat. Not even like it's safe. Washington is a state we know will be going for Joe Biden. We know it will be going to Jay Inslee in the gubernatorial race. Next state, interesting state, West Virginia. West Virginia has Jim Justice. If you guys may or may not remember, Jim Justice was elected a Democrat in West Virginia, and he became so popular there. He thought to himself, why don't we just switch and I'll become a Republican, because Republicans are so much more liked in my state. So he pretty much did that, and he's a strong Republican now, strong Trump supporter. And here you could tell everyone saying that it will be red. My favorite source, Politico, and Cook Political Report, they're switched on this. Politico is saying lean, Cook is saying safe, but I believe that this is also going to be safe Republican. So that already puts the Republicans at the 25 state threshold to at least get a share of the gubernatorial positions. And here, just remember that it's not like something like the House where all the governors make decisions together. A decision in Nevada will have no influence on the state of Rhode Island, but the both parties would like to have control overall, have a majority, because that shows you, number one, how the feeling of what's happening in the nation actually is, and two, has the chance to be showing some trends with what's happening in each state, whether some states are starting to lean more to the left or lean to the right, etc. So here, let's go to Vermont. Vermont is a state that is 100% going Democrat easily. We know that Joe Biden is going to wipe out Trump in the state of Vermont. They have Bernie Sanders, who Bernie Sanders is obviously one of the more popular senators, but he's also one of the least popular senators, if that makes any sense. You have, I'd say, around 60% of the population that absolutely despises Bernie Sanders and his ideas, overall in the country, not in Vermont. You have about maybe 10% of the population that is indifferent about him, and you have 30% that loves him and is obsessed with him. This is very different. You have Phil Scott. Phil Scott, honestly, you can pretty much he's more of an independent who just goes under the Republican title. He is such well supported. You see, he won 55% of the vote last time, and this is another state that will be going likely for the GOP. So there you have it. The Republicans already secured getting the majority here and winning 26 gubernatorial races to the Democrats' 23rd. So the last one is Montana. You think Montana, oh, that's guaranteed to go red. They're one of the red states out there. That's true on the presidential level. The Senate and gubernatorial level, that is very, very different. Mostly because you have Steve Bullock. Steve Bullock is he's more of an independent. He's not really a Democrat, but he votes with the Democrats on many ideas. And here, he is one of the most popular governors out there in a state that is safe for the other party. However, Montana has a term limit, unlike some other states, for their gubernatorial positions. But as you see here, you scroll up, you have Mike Cooney, who is also a longtime local politician and was the Montana lieutenant governor as the Democratic nominee for governors. And here it is a complete toss-up. But I believe that I cannot make a decision on this because there's really no polls in Montana suggesting one way or the other. There's no really approval rating of Bullock right now. But really, just to show you, if it goes to GOP, that's 27 to 23. If it goes to the Democrats, it's 26 to 24. However, here, I believe that Montana will ever so slightly tilt red here. And Mike Cooney will not win the election. So, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to comment any video suggestions down below. Make sure you comment what you think. I want to know, what did you think of this? Did you agree? Did you disagree? Or what do you think? And, if you want to hit the subscribe button, that would mean the world. My favorite thing is waking up and seeing that I have a new subscriber. So thank you guys so much. And these are my predictions, pretty much 4.5 to 5 months out of the election in 2020. Thank you.